welcome back. Hello. Long time no see talk, as you say, as we see. Long time no talk. Hi, it's True Thai from Thailand, etc. For instance, and I normally, for instance, I gotta apologise because quite silly. For instance, I was normally, for instance, talk to you guys before and after in each game, and there's been a lot going on, etc. But also, there's been a lot going on with me, for instance. So I actually, last time I talked to you was previous to the Liverpool game. And I said I'll talk to you the next day. And right now, for instance, I've got to be honest with you on what's happened. I do apologise, for instance, if anybody's been waiting to hear my thoughts, whatever. Probably not. You never know. You never know. But what happened is basically because the game starts off late, and my lady works and she comes back, etc., about 8 o'clock in the evening. And then, for instance, because for instance, we're about 7 hours ahead, and I promised her, I was staying for the game rather than going to the bar. And so what's happened is, for instance, I got back. For instance, she got back, etc., and I was waiting around for the game. And then we have this thing over here where, for instance, I am the foreigner and she is the Thai, the local. What the thing is, though, what's it called? Since our relationship, since I've been living together with her, I get the impression that I am the Thai and she's the foreigner. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, and she's, first of all, she only speaks Danish, Thai, what's it called? Not, and she speaks Danish, because we both live in Denmark. But I speak Danish, Thai. I try to speak, and I said to her, please, could you speak Thai? And she, only speaks English, which doesn't help me progress in my Thai and, fit in around here. So, and also, for instance, she moans about the weather. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. Now, I go running 20k and all this kind of thing. I do an hour in the swimming, the sea, for instance, and I run. I do exercise and I'm running around. And the only thing I've got is a down fan here. And believe me, it's not the biggest fan, it's not the best fan I have. It's one at the moment. It's been a cold day for me. And so what's it called? But she's she's too hot. And what she does, she works in a big supermarket, massive supermarket. And what happens is she comes back from the supermarket, okay, and she lives under 20 degrees. Okay, it's 20 degrees heat. Sorry to hear some what do you call it? Some a noise. For instance, it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and welcome to Thailand. So, for instance, either motorbikes, music, or somebody with a jackhammer. 6 o'clock on a Saturday evening. Anyway, so what happened is, for instance, I sit here, and for instance, she comes back, etc. For instance, to get back. What happened is she basically she works in the supermarket, and she comes out of the supermarket, and the supermarket is regulated temperature around about 20 degrees. So, for instance, for all the foreigners and tourists and everything, and then this massive supermarket, it's on double floors and everything. So I thought about it, and just sort of succumb it, and then what happens is she basically jumps on what they call Sentel, the little bus, okay, 10 baht, boom, she comes home, and so and it's no more than 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes max. And between that and that, so all she does is walks across the road, comes out the car park, walks across the road, busy road with sunshine, it's the Succumbit, and then goes onto the, what do you call it, wait on the opposite side, waits for the suntail to come along. Can be, there's no particular time, let's go, but, it's not 15, 20 minutes maximum wait, whatever, you have waited longer, but, one of these things. So, for instance, and off it goes, and it's another 5, 10, 15 minutes before it comes off up here, and then she comes off, and she walks just up this road. She basically walks about a kilometre, if that. And then but every day she's like, oh, I'm hot, I'm too hot, I'm sweaty, oh my god. And last night she came in, she was moaning about the heat and things. I'm like, darling, I'm running 20 kilometres. But when she goes and comes back, the sun's either coming up or gone down. And so, for instance, it's the kind of coolest part of the day. When I run, the sun's coming up, and by the time I'm coming back on after my run, we're talking the sun is it's way in the sky. But I'm thinking, well, and I only sweat a little bit here, and that's about it. That's the only way I sweat now. And she's I'm like, for God's sake, I do 6 sprints in my run, and my last sprint, etc., is up here for a good, I sprint on the sea and on the sand, etc. Yeah, so I just don't get it. Anyway, so I call it the flank, and I do whatever. This is it. But getting back to the point is the fact that, and the reason why I haven't done a video for the after Liverpool and blah blah blah, is because she has a fan here. She has her own fan. And the moment she comes back, actually, she turns the damn thing on. And she basically lives by the fan. Because she moans about the fact that, they've got air conditioning and these have got air conditioning, but I don't want it. I don't want it. Because I thought, if you're going to live in a damn country, you can't live under air conditioning. I just don't like air conditioning. I don't like it at all. I had an air conditioning fan when I first came in. So what's happened is she basically lives in she has this fan next to her where she keeps boots on and she oh, I'm tired or whatever. She has a shower, cold shower, and then she basically sits under the fan and then sits next to the fan and then sleeps under the fan. And the fan is directly at her. But it's not. It's supposed to be, but it's not. And what happens is, for instance, it turns towards me. So last Sunday evening, okay, last Sunday evening, for instance, I was sat there just relax, after the Manchester City game against Liverpool, and I was knocking. What time it was in the morning? 2 o'clock plus in the morning, and for instance, I was tired and whatever, but I had too much of this. My lovely drink, my Lacquer, my rice whiskey, and while I was drinking this, whatever, and I drank too much, and I was relieved about the game, and when I fell asleep, and for instance, and I could feel the fact that the fan was on my face. Okay, I could feel it, whatever. And then what happened was, for instance, and when you fall asleep, etc., and you need to wake up, but you don't. Anyway, so for instance, and what happened is it gave me a cold. So in the morning, etc., I felt like rotten eggs. Honestly, I felt terrible. I was whatever. Anyway, so for instance, and so that was Monday, and I thought, no, I'll do the what's it called my thoughts about Liverpool on Tuesday. On Tuesday, and Tuesday came along. It was 10 times worse. So, for instance, but this is me, right? Okay, this is me, right? Because they don't really get sick in any way whatsoever. So, having a cold, and this is what happens is, I always drug myself up, which I do. For instance, I always get pill after pill after pill and whatever. And then I fell asleep on the sofa on the Tuesday. It was their day off, and she wasn't in the best of moods. And so, for instance, she wanted to go out and eat, and I was like, "Oh, I'm tired." Anyway, so for instance, and so I fell asleep on. But by the Wednesday, I was feeling better. So I was feeling a lot better by the Wednesday. Because again, for instance, colds and flus don't last very long to me at all. By Thursday, for instance, I was doing small exercises, okay, and getting myself back, and I was on my mind, pizza, video. Anyway, by Friday, I thought, right, I'll go for a run. So I went out running, for instance, to get my strength back. Kind of suffered a bit on the way back, okay, but I managed to do 3/4 of my run, and then I run swim with yoga. No, yoga was pretty rubbish for the truth. And then and that was anyway. So for instance, to come back, and then that that was Friday. So for instance, so you can see how things just kind of go on. I've also go out and buy shopping, I do things here, for instance. So I do apologise. I've had a lot of things on my mind, etc. Because because when you're in sync and you do things every day, and then you lose the day because of X, Y, and Z, because of colds and whatever, you kind of got to get back into things. So yeah, and I need to shopping, I need to do all kinds of stuff. So for instance, and we've had the Champions League draw and other things, and because you kind of live on the 24-hour clock, and when I say that, it's because the game today against Newcastle, for instance, starts midnight. It starts on Sunday for me. By the time I get to sleep, etc., it'll be what's it called? The game will finish around about 2 a.m. I listen to it probably, probably won't get sleep for about an hour because of hyper. And for instance, by the time it gets, so for instance, then I'll have about 3 hours sleep because she used up at 6 a.m. And Thailand wakes up at 6 a.m. as soon as the sun comes up and the chickens start to, And the guys next door, for instance, my lovely new neighbours, for instance, they young kids who sleep all day, for instance, with the air conditioning banging on. And for instance, and what they do, they get up in the evening, and they go out, and when they come back about 5 a.m. in the morning. So, anyway, so that has been my week, etc. So, but it's these things I've got to work around. So, I hope you're well. And for instance, yeah. I've just got a couple of things here which I've got to sort out later on. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. This is the beauty of Thailand. You have, Brits come over here and they eat eat British food and British this, whatever. These things are available here, just around where I'm living. Boop, boop, boop. These are coconuts. So I'm going to open up one later, for instance, fresh coconuts. And this tree here right now, mangoes, fresh mangoes. These cost nothing. We just pick them off the tree. Pop, 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 pop. And then I've got this guy here, for instance. I'm not quite sure what it is. And for instance, it's not a cucumber, it's not a zucchini, I don't know. But for instance, this is it. This is the beauty of living in Thailand, etc. We've got panagum trees. There's all kinds of stuff here, for instance. You just go pop, 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 pop. I went to the cafe a couple of days ago, for instance. It was just wonderful, for instance. I was sat there eating some Thai food. It cost 50 baht, which is nothing. I got a big beer, for instance, and I got for instance, water. They gave me some water, for instance. The service was so quick, it was unbelievable. And I got a massive, big jugs of water, and the entire thing cost me less than a couple of dollars. $3 if that, whatever it was going to say dollars, $3 or $4 if that. And I could pay them a tip and they were like, oh, thank you very much. And it's just wonderful, it's just right here. So the beauty of Thailand, etc. It really is. It can be noisy, easy right now, for instance. So we've got a few people hanging around. The kids, so everybody's coming back for the evening. And so it is what it is. I don't mind the noise. I don't mind this. I don't mind the music either. It's just the motorbikes when they're flying around like idiots. So often like that. Anyway, I've been talking to her about. We haven't even talked about the football. So anyway, the Liverpool game. So, what was your feeling about the Liverpool game? To me, for instance, I was gotta say disappointed. I was disappointed. I was delighted for the first goal. The training ground goal, etc. For instance, when Man City. I'm delighted with the team. I'm delighted in the way thing. I'm delighted the fact that I wasn't going to dupe Liverpool fans by going a different way. Scousers. I'm delighted with, for instance, everything was good. And we went 1-0 up. Boom. But I was, then we kind of I was with the squad they had, the way they had, I thought they were there for the taking. But after the second half, and we didn't capitalise on the goal, and Erling didn't have much possession, and for instance, the whole thing, etc., kind of phased out, as it were. For instance, and we kind of let them back in the game, and they took full advantage, especially in the second half. And then when Eddie went off and the penalty was scored, and Nunes went flying over his leg in a very theatrical. Yes, was it a penalty? Yes, on all thing it was a penalty. But do I think it was whatever? So it was kind of he did fly over over his foot but he caused injury. Aki's fault. For instance, so that was that. How do I feel about it? Napped off. What's the God about it? And and then after that, for instance, when Ortega came on, played fantastic well. Ortega, I'm very happy for Ortega when he came and the way he played. Great goalkeeper. Hope we keep him. And for instance, I'm glad he's got a couple of. He's going to be playing today against Newcastle, and so I'm really happy for Ortega. So how do I feel? And I think I feel we kind of surrendered possession, and we kind of were lucky. And again, prior to the game, I always said, and I said to my friend, and I said on watch-alongs that I've texted and tweeted, and God knows what. I hope it doesn't come down to a VAR incident with Liverpool. Please don't come down to a VAR incident. A referee decision, you will never hear the end of it. And of course it does. You either got Salah diving, or you got this last minute with Doku. I looked at it about half a dozen times. You could say, yes, could be a penalty. But it's like, for instance, he did go up, and like McAllister, he kind of made more of it than what he should. It was stupid by Doku. But for instance, and again, when we're Manchester City fans are talking about, we're talking about the games. You don't put it after the Jack Grealish callback, etc. in the Spurs game. One thing is that you don't put it down to one get one. You can't put it. You've got to score 2 goals. You've got to score 3 goals, whatever. And you can't just allow it to one decision to think that's going to affect the whole thing. And you can't do that anymore in the Premier League now. Let's go with VAR and the mistakes and the referee and things like that. So to sit there and say that, what's go? Did they deserve a penalty? Possibly. Uh, yeah, and for instance, but me personally, I thought it was the correct decision. I thought he did make a meal of it. He did go into him. He didn't do, and he did hit the ball. For instance, his foot was high, but he didn't. He did make a meal of it. In McAllister, great player, fantastic player. Him and Diaz played very well. And McAllister, I love McAllister, great player. I wish we got McAllister. McAllister would have been a perfect Gundogan replacement. Really disappointed he went to Liverpool. But for instance, but I thought he made too much of a meal of it, and of course the media kind of like went crazy the next day. I haven't listened to the rag media, for instance, the red media, for instance, for the entire week, and no surprise because it will just be Liverpool were cheated and that was it. And I just don't want to listen to it because you just know what it's going to say. All the scouts are going to come on and how the fact they were cheated and blah blah blah. And it might seem with the thing by 1 point, you know what they're going to be saying, yeah. So it's not, and it's like, for God's sake, you got to, again, for instance, you can't just leave it down to one game, to one result, one thing. You've got to say that, for instance, it would, you had created more chances, you scored more goals, and just leave it down to one goal, one incident in the game, for instance, to change it. And the Salah going down was pure Salah diving. And I was happy that we get away with a point. Very disappointed we didn't get away with 3. But I thought we didn't. We kind of like bust the first half. Didn't do as good enough in the second half. So I'm disappointed overall. With the game, with the City and with the City Liverpool game. I thought with an unstrength Liverpool, we should have done it. But it's Anfield, and yeah. So yeah, and I thought the players didn't do as much. Phil didn't do as much. I thought, my favourite player were Akanji, great play. John Stones looked really, really good. Erling didn't get into the game as much. For instance, took Kevin off, but now he's talking about a Gorain issue, things like that. He wasn't happy to come off. Right on Doku, I wasn't really pleased about coming on Doku, but he did okay. For instance, yeah, and I thought I'm disappointed. Overall, I'm disappointed. We still with the draw, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, etc., is it a bad thing? But again, for instance, a lot of City fans are very disappointed. But I believe you never know. You never know because quite honestly, for instance, I know that Liverpool going to drop points. They've got United tomorrow in the FA Cup. They might go far in that. They might be United and then it might be City. So yeah, and then you never know. For instance, in the semi-finals, they've also got the Europa League. For instance, I'm sure they won't do well in that. So yeah, it's football. You never know. So what's good? How's he going to go for it? We've got to play. So there's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of to come. I feel so. I'm hoping. So yeah, and we got Newcastle today. So for instance, like that. So I'm going to end the stream now. For instance, because quite honestly, we've got Newcastle today, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening, 6:10. I'm going to make dinner, and so my lady's back at 7 off, and I'm going to hopefully come back to you as I go and talk about Newcastle. Even while I'm making dinner or something like that. So I'm going to go because I've got to open my Mapao on my leg. She said, "Do you want Mapao?" So I'm going to open it, and don't know how I'm going to open it now. Come on. Best thing about Denmark, Thailand, etc. Because it's good to eat good. Eat too many breaks. They come over here, they eat English breakfasts and whatever. Eat good food, etc. Makes your stomach feels good. It regulates your temperature and just makes you, feel better. Right now. Too many falangs doing bad things at the moment in this country, for instance, and the tires you get a little bit naffed off. So you want to eat good food, and when you can get it off trees just around the corner from you, you need to start looking after yourself. For instance, and start, and it's yeah. So, for instance, and regulate your temperature and regulate your body weight and exercise, etc. For instance, it makes you feel good in here and good in here, and it just cools you down. Okay, and then you, for instance, you can think better and do things better and get over colds, just like I've done, for instance, quicker. Anyway, guys, I'm a waffler. You know I am. For instance, I missed you because I'm trying to get back into it. Yeah, so I am going to get the rice on and have some food and open my pal, my coconut for my lady, for instance, when she comes back, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay. And I do apologise once more again because I didn't, what do you call it, for instance, do a review, for instance, against Liverpool, and it's still Saturday evening, and it's, well, 5 hours before the game. Anyway, so, but I promise I'm going to do more, and I'm going to do things better, and I'm going to do, yeah, and I hope to do that for you guys, etc. And yeah, and because there's a lot of things what's going on. We've got the Champions League, and and yeah, what happened there, for instance, and yeah, so. And how are you feeling about that? I'm still a bit nervous about the Champions League. And I know I feel more confident about the Champions League than I do about the Premier League. So anyway, right, Mr. Waffle is now going to have some food. Okay, and I'll speak to you in a little bit. Okay, love you. Sorry, Cap. Bye. Hope you're well.